I'm Jon.
And I'm Jake, and we're late to the show. That's the truth and the podcast.
We talk about movies neither of us have seen, one of us has seen, or both of us have seen. But we want to talk about it anyway.
We upload every Tuesday, every week, so don't be late.
And recording is underway.
All right. How are the levels sounding on your end?
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm a little late to the show. Yeah, the
Hey,
levels are good. And roll credits.
I'm late.
No, you got here right on time.
No, I'm late.
It's the Late Show.
Sorry, I'm late.
You're too late.
A wizard is never late.
Can I help you? Yeah, I want to see the show.
But not to come late.
Late, man. Always late, huh?
The hour grows late.
But is he already too late to save his friends?
You're late. I'm not paying for this.
You're too late.
And I'm like, dude. Fine. Let's call it that.
I would say yes, it lives up to the hype. What little hype I had for it was pretty damn good.
Okay, so what we're here to talk about is
Movies.
Primal Fear. That was the movie I couldn't think of the name of.
Movie Primal Fear, that cultural mainstay.
A movie no one hears about until they're told about it.
Yeah. It's like, what's that about? Well, it's got Richard Gere and it's Edward Norton's first movie. Huh.
Is that the one with Robert De Niro? No, that's Cape Fear. Sorry,
Yeah.
this is Primal Fear. Total different kind of fear.
Not really sure of the title either after watching the movie.
What?
Not sure why they called it that.
Primal Fear?
Yeah.
That
sounds like the title for a horror movie, and this was like a courtroom drama.
Well, let's see. Let's think about it. This is spoiler alert right here. Roy had primal fear and killed the
What's the word?
what's his title?
It's on a chessboard.
Bishop.
There you go.
Bishop Rushman. Fucking slayed that guy.
You even remember names. I've totally forgotten people's names. It's been like a month since I watched this movie.
So you're gonna refer to their actor names then?
And only the ones I can remember. I know there's Richard Gere, Ed Norton, what's her name?
Molly Ringwald.
No.
Mariska Hargitay.
Neither of those people were in that movie. Fucking hell, what is her name?
Marie Antoinette. Laura
Frances
Linney.
McDormand. There we go.
Oh.
Frances McDormand.
Who was that?
She was the psychiatrist.
Oh, okay. I was thinking you were talking about the opposing, the
Nope.
fucking
I could not remember.
prosecuting
I could not
lawyer.
remember. I don't remember the prosecutor's name at all.
Laura Linney.
Oh, okay.
She was Miss Venable, I think. Venom. She got that Venable. And Mr. Vale. That's Richard Gere's character's name.
Okay. I'm probably not going to remember these.
The black guy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That's not Terry Crews. The captain.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name.
Is he the guy who's his private detective?
Yeah, that's
Holy
him.
shit,
He's really
he is
young, in that
this
movie.
movie.
And also has more than just one face in this movie.
No.
Everything after that, it was very straight-faced and serious.
Yeah, what the fuck, man?
Okay, so I've seen this movie before, although I did not realize that for the longest time I had been missing out on half an hour of the movie until I watched it on Amazon Prime.
Really, what was the half hour you missed out on?
The very first half an hour. Like,
Oh, you mean when the murder happens?
Yeah. I swear to God, I just came in at the point where he's running from the cops up in the like train yards and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And the rest of the movie made total sense. So I don't know if that speaks to the fact that you can do without a half an hour of that movie, but I made it.
I mean, to be fair, and this is going to sound even worse probably, I had the same sort of an experience with The Wizard of Oz. Forever. I just kind of remember her laying in bed and then getting picked up in the tornado landing in Oz. And so then at the end when she's like, and you were there, I'm just like, oh, these were just people.
Guys?
These are just people in her real life. And then I saw the actual beginning of the movie and I'm like, what the fuck is all this? How did I miss this much of this movie?
What's this black and white shit? But yeah, I swear to God. And I mean, he gets picked up by the cops, and they keep talking about, oh, he's killed this Bishop Rushman. I was like, yeah, all right, I get it. I don't know why. I think my dad recorded it on a DVR.
Oh.
And then I just hit play, and it came up in that spot, and it kind of seemed like an intro credits thing. Like,
I mean, yeah, it could
an
work.
Interesting intro credits thing. It's like, oh, fuck, what's he done? What's he running from?
Yeah.
He's just covered in blood, cooking it from the cops. It really worked.
I mean, yeah, that kind of shows the weakness of the first half an hour of the movie that didn't really need to be there.
Well, it does need to be there for the stuff with Jon Mahoney. Yeah, Jon Mahoney. He plays the head DA, AD, no DA, district attorney.
Okay, the guy that Laura Linney works for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can't remember his name. Oh, O'Shaughnessy.
Yes.
That guy.
Okay.
It gives all the background with him,
Yeah,
and also that mob guy who Richard Gere apparently helped out in a previous case. Because at the beginning of that, he gets him that deal where he has to I don't know, do what, 30 days in jail or some bullshit.
No, he's supposed to leave town forever.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so
that was such a weird subplot of the movie that I'm like, none of this pertains to fucking what's going on with Ed Norton.
Yeah, it does.
How?
Well, okay.
Maybe I need to watch this movie again. I just kind of was confused as to why he just had this random guy who knew all of this random shit that kind of connected O'Shaughnessy.
Well, okay, so this random guy, he's trying to fix up this neighborhood, but O'Shaughnessy and Bishop Rushman are buying out all these properties and buildings out from under him.
Yeah.
And O'Shaughnessy, because they're business partners, is covering up all the sex stuff that Bishop Rushman's been doing.
Yes. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. So because O'Shaughnessy was turning a blind eye to all this illegal shit that the bishop was doing. I mean, he's been fucking forcing Ed Norton to rape this chick for videos, and then Ed Norton ends up killing him.
All right. Yeah, I guess that makes more sense. Mm-hmm. But also, fuck the bishop. He had it coming.
Well, yeah, I mean, to be honest, he shouldn't have been a bishop in the first place.
No, he really should not have been. But yeah, so when you first saw this movie, what did you think of it the first time you saw it way back whenever it was?
I think I was 16 the first time I saw it, so it felt like I'd known who Ed Norton was, but mostly for Incredible Hulk and Fight Club. So I thought it was really cool to see him that young now. It was a weirdly serious movie. It was one of the first well, no, that's not even true. I've seen a lot of serious movies up until then. I don't know. It felt like a really interesting movie where I liked trying to solve the crime.
Yeah.
And then, because I also liked watching Law and Order, so I enjoyed the movie for all the crime stuff and trying to figure out how they're going to fight this legally in the courtroom. I mean, and then a lot of the politics stuff was harder to get because, like I said, I'd only seen it without the first half an hour where they set up for all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I had to put that together without all that previous information.
Yeah.
I liked the movie a lot. It became it became one of those movies where I was excited to tell other people about. It felt like such a different movie than stuff that was out at the time. I mean, it's an older movie. It came out in mid-90s, early 90s.
Something like that, I think it was.
So I liked it a lot. I still like it a lot.
Yeah.
I thought it was really interesting to see that extra 30 minutes at the beginning. It was kind of like a fucking little...
Director's cut.
Yeah, it was like a post-credits tag.
Yeah, at the beginning of the movie. That had important information.
Yeah, like I said, this is a movie I'm excited to tell people about and say, oh, you should check this out, because it kind of blew me away when I saw it, and I wanted to share that with someone else. Yeah, did it blow you away? The end?
Yeah.
Was that fucking crazy or what?
Yeah, and that sort of thing, unfortunately, makes it a little difficult to talk about these movies on the podcast when it's got a really kind of cool ending. And we've already spoiled huge chunks of... Well, no, I actually wouldn't say we have. That's pretty much the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, true.
I don't think we've... Yeah.
We haven't even actually given, the big hook to this.
Yeah.
To the big spoiler.
Yeah, actually, no. Yeah, thinking about it, no, we haven't. But I'll get... For me, too, I wasn't super on board, because I was just it's kind of another... legal drama. That's not... Sometimes it's my thing, but this one was moving kind of slow. And then the big hook hit, and I'm fucking sold. And then then the end of the movie happened, and I'm like, fuck, this is a good movie. Like thinking about it, it's a really good movie. I don't know if it's necessarily one I would rush out to go see again, but maybe later I'm like scrolling through fucking Amazon Prime or something and be like, hey, I remember liking that. Let's watch that one again. That's kind of where I was with it, but it was enjoyable. Definitely excellent performances. Ed Norton's first major movie appearance, and then like 2-3 years later he was in Fight Club. So
yeah, and American History X had to have happened somewhere in there also. That happened in the late 90s, I think. I
will look up when American History X happened,
because Edward Furlong was like 15 or 16 by the time that came out. But I guess that was another movie that kind of made me interested in seeing Primal Fear, was because I had seen like Ed Norton play a really dark character, and I could tell that the movie was dark just from the little info that you get on the TV guide or whatever.
All right, so in order, Primal Fear came out in 96.
Really? Okay.
Yes. 2 years later, we had shit, I already forgot the movie. 2 years later, we had American History X in 98, and then 99 was Fight Club.
Oh, okay.
So that's that is the order of the Ed Norton movies.
That's a good run of fucking movies for your first 3 big appearances.
Yeah. And out of those 3, I have not seen American History X.
So good. That's the next fucking movie. It's one of the next fucking movies.
We'll put it in the queue. We've already got another one lined up, and you need to watch it again soon, so we can talk about it.
Cred.
Yes. Oh shit, man! The next one comes out next week.
I don't know about that.
It's not this isn't the Creed podcast. We'll talk about Creed 2 when we talk about Creed.
Okay. All right. So, but yeah, I mean, I really think that Primal Fear, it's a fun movie to introduce to someone else, because then you do get to hear their reaction to it. Like, I was excited for you to watch it so I could hear what you thought about it.
Yeah.
Because the only other person I know who's seen that movie is my dad. And I showed Kate, and she liked it too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the hook, it comes out of left field, but not in like a way where it's like, well, that doesn't make any fucking sense. That just got thrown in there. It's like, oh, okay, I see what they're doing. That's the kind of way it throws you for a loop that way. You're
and
like,
you have that feeling the whole time. Like, you have that feeling that, like, you're thinking, oh, I know what the writers are doing for, like, the movie. And then by the end of the movie, you're thinking, oh, fuck, I know what Roy was doing the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
Or, Alan?
I don't remember this character's name.
Yeah, it's Alan.
No, Aaron.
Aaron. Thank you.
Aaron
and Roy. Yeah, and then
spoiler alert.
There's twins. That's the spoiler. That's just what we tell everyone who listens to this.
Yeah.
They just switch in and out.
We can cut this out in post.
So, all right. The movie came out in 1996. Richard Gere had already done a bunch of shit by then, too.
He plays a lawyer in everything I've ever seen him in.
Was he a lawyer in Pretty Woman?
I think so. I don't.
I know he had a lot of money.
I didn't see Pretty Woman. I've seen him in 2 movies. In both of them, he was a lawyer. In Chicago, too.
Oh, Chicago. That's the one I know.
And also specifically in the city of Chicago in both movies.
Yeah?
Because Primal Fear takes place in Chicago.
Yeah, I know.
So.
Do you think it had any particular tie-in with its era? I mean, do you think there was do you think there was anything Chicago specific to the movie? Do you think it could have taken place in any city? Or do you
Absolutely.
think it had to be in Chicago?
I think that could have taken place anywhere. You know, Chicago does have the whole, like, corruption, kind of the seat of the, like, you know, Al Capone and all that type of deal. So, like, a lot of the crime. You think of Chicago, you do unfortunately think of crime and corruption and dirty politics. And so maybe it did need to be Chicago exclusive. It definitely wouldn't have happened in L.A. I don't think it could have done in L.A.
No.
It needs to be one of the grimier
It could have been L.A. after all the Harvey Weinstein shit. It could be L.A. now.
It could be L.A. now, absolutely. But I think, I think setting it in Chicago is probably the right move.
It's an interesting move, too. I mean, they're capitalizing on it because a lot of movies were based in Chicago right in the 80s also. So,
yeah.
I mean, the 80s were kind of Chicago's time. And then this one came out in 96, kind of like a weird gap between them.
Yeah. It's like, here's a bunch of Chicago movies, here's some space, and Primal Fear. we should put in a spoiler section closer to the end where we talk about the shit that goes on. So if you've seen the movie or you don't care, at some point here in the podcast, we'll tell you to turn it off or skip ahead a little bit, and we'll cover your ears, and we'll let you know when to uncover them.
I think all these podcasts are pretty much just a fucking nest for spoiler alerts anyway.
Well, I mean, it's hard. I mean, there's some movies where spoilers don't matter so much. Like Iron Man, you know he's going to win in the end. You know he's going to beat Jeff Bridges, spoiler alert. But I think something like this, you want to maintain, what happens. What the conclusion of the crime is.
Right. Okay, so let's talk about... All right, why did you never see this movie? Why hadn't you seen this movie? Was it something you just never heard about?
Never heard of it before.
Really?
Literally, had just never heard of it before. And then you're like, how about Primal Fear? I'm like, what's that? And you're like, well, it's got Ed Norton and Richard Gere. I'm like, okay, I'll look into it.
And the black guy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, not Terry Crews.
Not Terry Crews. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much... I just never heard of it before, and it sounds like... I'll ask, but, it sounds like you heard it from your dad, or did you...
Yeah, he's the one who showed me the movie. We were just hanging out at home one day, and he's like, oh, let's put this on. I recorded it the other day. Apparently wrong, by the way.
Yeah.
I got it a little late. Didn't mention that at all.
Nah. Maybe your dad had never seen it before either. And he's just like, oh, this is where it starts, I guess.
But yeah, I mean, my dad showed me the movie. Like I said, we were just chilling out at home one day, and he's like, oh, let's just watch this movie. And I was like, okay. He's like, it's got Edward Norton in it. I was like, all right, cool. I like Ed Norton. Yeah. And then he told me it was like one of his first roles. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then I didn't really know Richard Gere from anything. I didn't know Linney from anything. And then he told me, oh, you see that black guy? He's the one lawyer in Striking Distance. I was like, oh, that's cool.
I've never seen Striking Distance.
It's a Bruce Willis movie where he's a cop and then he becomes a boat cop.
Boat cop.
Yeah.
Cool.
He loses his actual police officerness.
And becomes a boat cop.
And Sarah Jessica Parker becomes his partner.
Interesting.
It's all right. But yeah.
It's Bruce Willis. You get what you pay for.
But yeah, and then just started unfolding, and it was a really cool story. Since you'd never heard of the movie before, the only hype you know of it from is what I told you about it before you saw it.
Yes.
And I mean, you said you thought it was kind of slow, but then the hook had you. So do you think it lived up to any kind of hype that I gave it, or?
I mean, you said it was a good movie, and it was a good movie, so yeah, it lived up to that pretty easily.
How would you hype it to someone else? What would you say if you were going to recommend it to someone else? Would you recommend it to someone else?
If I were to recommend it to somebody else, I would, it's like, hey, it's courtroom drama if you're into that sort of thing. It's kind of I'm stealing from what I saw elsewhere. It's kind of a noir. It's more of a neo-noir kind of a thing. So if you're into more of that sort of a, genre of film, probably play to your tastes. If you're a fan of Ed Norton, definitely worth a watch because it's a hell of a performance by him in this one. So, that's probably how I would recommend to people. It's neo-noir, or it's a courtroom drama, or if you're an Ed Norton fan.
Or you just like Chicago.
Or you like Chicago. Or
the movie and the city.
Yes. Or if you like the fact that a bishop dies in it for some reason.
Yeah, if you're a real big old atheist and you really just want to see religion take a hit, fucking watch this movie.
Yes.
Not only does he get killed, he is fucking crazy.
Yes.
I think we've covered all of our topics.
Yeah, we definitely kind of hit most of the main bases.
We're at 23 minutes.
Wow, that was a quick record. Yeah. I mean, we could keep spitballing about the movie. Oh, we go.
Wanted to talk
Let's
about
just
the
talk
hook,
about
right?
let's talk about the... Okay, this is an official spoiler alert at this point. If you continue listening, it's your own fucking fault.
Okay, so...
Go ahead. No, I was just going to say it, what the thing was, but...
So yeah, Ed Norton is a split personality in this movie.
He plays his character from Fight Club. I'm convinced that this is a prequel to Fight Club.
It's just like the fan theory that fucking Jack washes up from the Titanic and is fucking Gatsby, and then also becomes the guy from Inception somehow.
Yes.
Just like that.
Exactly like that.
Did you have any inkling that Aaron wasn't even a split personality before he revealed it to Marty at the very, very end?
No. No. When at first I thought it was just Aaron. And I'm like, well, this kid's fucked. He definitely did it. There's no way in hell it wasn't him. And then the scene where it's like, he's fucking his character from Fight Club, and he's like, oh, he did it, but he didn't do it.
Right.
You know, I'm like, okay. That's
like where he
fucking
first
cool.
has that little Roy snap on the camera.
No, at that I'm like, okay, this guy's got like a temper, and he's like gets angry, like
Snaps.
like he finally just snapped.
Right.
But then it's like, no, there's two people in that head. I'm like, fuck, that's good. And then like the scene where he basically gets Laura Linney to rip into him in court so that he snaps from Aaron to Roy and freaks out on her. That was gold. And then the fucking finale, like you said, where it's like, there is no split personality. He fucking lied about that. And I'm like, what the fuck? That was great. And then incredibly on-the-nose imagery as Richard Gere walks out of the church and the camera pans over him, and now it's behind him and he's walking on the ceiling essentially because his world has been turned upside down. I'm like, okay, I see what you did there, movie.
So
how about you? Did you have any inkling of that?
no, like that fucking surprised me. Like, and so the giveaway to Marty, Richard Gere's character, is when he says, I hope Miss Venable's neck is okay.
Yeah.
Because Roy fucking jumped over the stand and started choking out Laura Linney because he was going to run out of there, but the security guards grabbed him, pulled him off, and then he was put in a holding cell and then snapped back to Aaron.
Yeah.
Quote unquote.
Yes.
And so then when...
and Aaron's thing throughout the movie is he doesn't remember what happens when he's Roy.
Right. He calls it losing time.
Yes.
So when Marty goes back there, because, I mean, there's going to be a mistrial on the case, they can't, the whole jury sees that he's fucking crazy. He's got a split personality now.
Yeah.
And the whole thing was they couldn't prosecute, or they couldn't defend him that way because they didn't start it that way, which is weird.
Well, I mean, you put in your plea, and you're locked in for the case.
Right. They didn't make it an insanity case because they didn't know until halfway through. Anyway, so Marty goes back there to tell Aaron, hey, you're going to end up in a hospital. They're going to get you the help they need. You're going to be okay. And they have this kind of like almost fatherly moment. Richard Gere feels very responsible for young Aaron. And then Aaron fucking just talks a little too much and says, tell Miss Venable I hope her neck is okay. He starts walking away and realizes how the fuck would he know it was her neck that would have any issues at all. He lost time. He shouldn't know what happened. Yeah. And he walks back and asks him. And instead of even trying to write it off and defend it, like, oh, I heard a security guard mention, did you see that crazy kid choke her out?
Yeah.
He just like, fuck it. I just got away with this anyway. He can't say anything against me.
Yep.
And he just tells him, oh, by the way, yeah, there's no split personality.
Yeah. I just did this.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was a mistake. I think he even says it wasn't a mistake. He wanted Richard Gere to know. Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, I lied to you and got away with it. We're a pretty good team. Mm-hmm. I think the reason it hurts Richard Gere the most, and I don't think it definitely is, because he says earlier, it's like, he was tired of being a prosecutor. He wanted to make sure everybody had the right to an attorney. Everybody got the actual defense that they needed, and the DA was kind of a dick, and he was like, pushing real hard for the worst possible sentences. Mm-hmm. And like Richard Gere at heart, believes people are good, and so he wants to make sure, he very much believes in innocent until proven guilty. Mm-hmm. So that was his big deal, and that's why he took the case. He's like, there's no way this kid is the one who did it. He was the one who did it, but it wasn't him. And then, it was just straight up him. It
wasn't even the kid he was defending. It's just because he says this line, he's like, because Richard Gere asks him, wow, so there never was a Roy, which is the name of this aggressive personality that Aaron has. He says, no, if you really think that, then you're dumber than I thought you were. There never was an Aaron.
Yeah.
So there was never the The nice guy thing was a total facade, as well as the split personality.
Yeah.
His second personality that he was hiding forever, that's his real
That's
him.
who he is.
That's Ed Norton.
Yeah.
I wonder if his name is actually Aaron or if it's actually Roy. Which one's his real name?
There was something about that I thought about after the movie. Shit, that I'm trying to remember. Oh, the bishop calls him Aaron constantly.
Right. Well, I mean, it'd be weird for Ed Norton's character to act like Roy while being an altar boy for a bishop, though.
But he could have just been like, my name's Roy. That was the thing I got. It's like, it's a nitpick kind of. This is what would technically constitute a plot hole. It doesn't ruin anything, but this is technically the film going against its own logic. Why would he choose Aaron as his fake name and tell the bishop his fake name, or his name is Aaron? When he could just be like, my name's Roy, and then when he's like, and then when he snaps to become who he really is, he could have just been like, oh, I'm Aaron, by the way.
Well, I think his real name must be Aaron in the movie because it also has a last name. They never gave Roy a last name. It's Aaron Scamper or Sampler. Stampler.
Yeah, it was
Aaron
something
Stampler.
weird.
Yeah, Stampler. And when I think he says there never was a Roy, I think he means like
The Roy personality.
right. Like I think he's referring to that no, he says there never was an Aaron. He just means the nice guy personality.
Okay, that's
Roy
fair.
is his personality, but his name is Aaron.
Okay, yeah, that's
I
probably.
think we were taking that a little too literal.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, Aaron probably is his real name then.
Yeah, and it kind of almost makes me want a fucking shitty M. Night Shyamalan Glass type sequel where I get to see the prequel and what fucking Aaron was like before all that shit happened and after. Just because I'm curious, how did this fucking psychopath end up? I mean, I could understand how he ended up homeless in New York and stuff, but like
Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago. Sorry, but like I want to know fucking. I want to know how he killed his girlfriend. You know, how he interacted with the other altar boys that were there because they were all homeless pieces of shit too. That just fucked for Rushman.
Yeah, yeah, that was. Yeah, you think Glass is gonna be bad?
Well, okay. To be fair, I haven't seen any of the other movies for it.
Okay, you need to see Unbreakable. You need to see Split.
Yeah.
Really, the fact that it's part of the Unbreakable universe, that was the big twist in Split, and that was at the end of the movie. Like, literally seconds before the trailer, you see Bruce Willis from Unbreakable, and we're like, what the fuck? And then, no, Glass looks fucking great. Totally off topic, I apologize, but...
No. I mean, that's fair to say. It's not that it looks dumb, it just seems kind of silly that all of a sudden, like... Was the character Glass, was he like anything before? Did he have a movie?
No.
Or did they just shoehorn Samuel L. Jackson in this for this?
No, he was in Unbreakable.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen Unbreakable.
Yeah. His character in Unbreakable is convinced that essentially superheroes are among us and that every person has their opposite. He has essentially glass bones. He breaks his bones really easily.
Oh,
he was a fragile
Willis's
kid.
Thing is that he's unbreakable.
Yes. Bruce Willis is impervious to everything. His weakness is the same as the aliens and Signs. It's water. I don't know why, but his weakness is water. That's why he wears a raincoat.
Oh.
As a superhero disguise.
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to see Unbreakable now.
Actually, do watch Unbreakable. It's
I've
great.
heard it's good. I will see it at some point. I mean, I'll see it before I see Glass anyway. And I still have to see Split. I did want to see that.
So anyways, Primal Fear.
Yeah. We've hit 36 minutes now.
So I don't know if we've even got like sort of a release schedule we should talk about at all for this.
As of right now, we don't.
Yeah, I know.
We're just stockpiling episodes.
We want to backlog these a bit and then release them as they go. And I'm sure we'll make dated cultural references like Creed 2 coming out next week.
Depending on whenever we release the Creed one. Cut out all the references to Creed 2 coming out soon.
Depending on when you're listening to this, Creed 2 either comes out next week or 5 years ago. Who knows?
5 years ago, shit.
If that's the case, we really screwed up and just kind of shelved this for a while. Or it's relevant and people are still listening to our podcast 5 years from now. They're going back to our first episode and being like, huh, What a weird timing on that.
I mean, that's what I did for the Crab Feast. I just listened to their first episode like 3 months ago, and it started in like 2012, 2013, and all for being caught up now, right as they're about to end it.
But really, that's the best time to be caught up, so you can catch the conclusion.
Yeah, now I have to wait every week for the last 5 or 6 episodes.
Yeah, see, that's always the rough part, man. I caught up with Breaking Bad just in time to watch the last 6 episodes.
I've pretty much seen all of Breaking Bad except for the episode where Hank dies.
So you've seen almost all of Breaking Bad. Literally,
I've seen the last episode. I just
You've
haven't
not
seen
watched Ozymandias, one of the best episodes of television?
Nope.
It's the second best episode of television. Can you guess what the first best episode of television is?
Seinfeld.
Wrong. It's Band Practice and SpongeBob.
You mean Band Geeks?
Is that what that episode's called? I thought it was called Band Practice.
No, it's called Band Geeks.
Yes, Band Geeks and SpongeBob.
So you must have never had a Video Now then, huh?
No.
That was the disc that came with every Video Now when you bought it. Do you remember what that is?
No.
It was a little black and white mini DVD player. It had a screen that was maybe 1 inch by 2 inches big, and you just put the disc in and you could watch TV shows on it.
On a tiny fucking screen.
Yeah.
Wow. Why even?
And it was its own little disc too. It wasn't even like an
Oh,
actual
like a
CD.
GameCube?
Yeah,
disc?
it was even smaller than that.
Wow.
But yeah.
But yeah, Band Geeks, easily the best episode of television ever.
Not even. That's not even the best episode of SpongeBob.
Are you serious?
I swear to fuck, it's not the best episode.
Okay, what's the
of
best
SpongeBob.
episode? This is now the SpongeBob podcast.
All right, hold on.
What is the best episode of SpongeBob? You don't need to give me the title. You can
No.
just describe the episode to me.
Hold on. Because now you've put me on the spot, my brain is fucking moving too fast.
Can you give me a more quotable episode of SpongeBob than Band Geeks? Is
yes, I can.
mayonnaise an instrument? No, Patrick. Mayonnaise is not an instrument.
Horseradish isn't an instrument either. All right, none of you have any experience. See, to say a SpongeBob episode is quotable in particular, it means nothing to me because I can quote half of them.
That's
verbatim.
Okay, that's fair. However, I still think Band Geeks is probably the best episode of that show.
Hold on.
The owner of the white sedan,
You left your lights on. All right. Pizza delivery. That's a great fucking episode.
That is a good episode.
It's a
not
heckin'
better.
quotable episode.
It's not better than Band Geeks.
Frankendoodle. I prefer that episode over Band Geeks.
I prefer Pizza Delivery over Frankendoodle.
Chocolate with Nuts. That's a great fucking episode.
That's the one where they're selling chocolate.
Yes.
Okay, that one. Okay, I'll give you that one as good competition for Band Geeks.
There's the Graveyard Shift episode with the hash slaying slasher.
no,
that
I
one's
know.
all right. That's not my favorite.
That's a good episode, but I'm not even going to call that one a top tier SpongeBob.
There's
episode.
Pickles, which would be quotable if anyone could get that fucking order right.
Yeah.
There's the camping episode.
Did you see the episode of Binging with Babish where he
Yeah,
made Bubble Bass's order?
yeah, for sure.
Which camping episode?
The camp with the sea bear.
For those at home who don't have video because we're not recording this in video, I just made an exasperated face because I disagree wholeheartedly.
You don't even like that episode?
No, it's an all right episode.
Let's gather around the campfire and sing our campfire song. Our C-A-M-P.
Yeah, I mean, the campfire song is great, but that's probably the best part of that episode.
No, it's not. It's fucking Squidward getting his shit pushed in by every animal out there.
There's so many better episodes with Squidward getting shit on, namely Band Geeks.
Yeah, now I'm trying to think of all the episodes that I like better. Okay, Shanghai. That's a great fucking episode.
Which one's Shanghai?
That's the one with the Flying Dutchman and the
one
Fly
where-
of Despair.
Okay, yeah, and then Squidward's falling for all eternity. Yeah. You're good. You're good.
Yes.
You're good.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Captain. We can buff those out. There's fucking nothing left of the ship.
We're gonna have to go through the perfume department.
Oh, man, that's a good episode, too.
And then my fucking dining sock. Come on.
That was a weird part of that episode, but to be fair, it's SpongeBob. There's a lot of weird shit in that show.
Band Geeks is not the best episode.
Band
of
Geeks,
SpongeBob.
I'm still, for my money, Band Geeks is the best episode of SpongeBob.
Well, you must be out of money.
I don't even have Don't even have a response. I would just like SpongeBob to show up on some streaming service, just all of it.
It's on Amazon Prime.
All of it?
I mean, the good ones.
So all of it?
The first 3 seasons.
I think we need to have a second podcast now where we just watch SpongeBob episode by episode and critique. Or
it's going to become very negative once we get to 2006 through fucking 12.
I was going to say, or in lieu of critique, sit here and just verbatim quote lines at each other for 20 minutes.
Do you remember the one where
it becomes a Chris Farley show? Do you remember that time when you were in the Beatles?
Oh,
that was awesome.
Fucking Muscle Bob Buff Pants. That's a better episode than Band Geeks.
No, it's not.
With anchor arms. Yeah, it's so much better. And
no,
him and Sandy are working out.
Band Geeks is such a good fucking episode.
How about I put you in the Bone Cruncher? See how you like it.
I don't even know what the fucking Bone Cruncher.
That's the contraption where you stick your arms through into those gloves and it has just weights slamming down on that block.
What was that from? Oh,
that's one of Sandy's workouts. She's going to put SpongeBob in.
That's right.
It's just slamming like 1,000-pound blocks down on your arms. The Bone Cruncher. Great. This squirrel's trying to kill me. Oh, fucking Hibernation Week. That one had Pantera in it.
That one did have Pantera. Are you going to take a phone call on the podcast?
Yeah, hold on.
You're going to have to put it on speakerphone.
No.
So the world can
take a new recording. All right, let's do the whole thing again. Primal Fear.
Yes. Have you seen this one? Have you heard of it?
No.
I've
seen Cape Fear, though. Have you seen that one?
That's a good one. I haven't seen Cape Fear.
Neither have I.
All right, so we're back.
Yeah, we're back just to say goodbye.
Yes.
I
can't
hope
leave without saying goodbye.
I hope you enjoyed our podcast. All right, so that was Primal Fear.
Join us next time when we talk about another movie that is yet to actually be determined. Possibly Creed, maybe something else.
It's probably Crud.
It's probably going to be Creed.
Yeah. So, in short, Primal Fear, both liked it. New for him, old for me. Still like it over here. Fucking just saw the first 30 minutes of it for the first time in like 6 years.
So that's pretty impressive.
Really psyched about it.
Yeah, it's like it's a whole new movie now. But, where can the good people find you, Jake?
I'm on Twitter at Jocko I'm on Twitter at Jocko Linguini.
Take 3.
I can never remember if I fucking put an underscore on that.
Anyways, I'm on Twitter at Rosendoom2. Probably also at Rosendoom, but I don't use that one anymore.
Wait, you actually have 2 at Rosendooms?
Well, I have at Rosendoom 2.
Stuck with at Rosendoom 2?
Well, at Rosendoom 1, basically, like, I deleted the account and then couldn't get back into it because I couldn't remember the login shit, so I made at Rosendoom 2 and, like, stuck to that for a while, and then somehow found the login shit for at Rosendoom, logged in, and I'm like, oh, this is, like, just spam and shit now, so I'm just gonna...
Well, you can delete that Twitter and then change your Twitter to just at Rosendoom. You can drop the 2 if you want.
I might do that. For now, you can find me at Rosendoom 2.
And I'm at Jocko_Linguini. Do not forget my fucking underscore.
Also, you can follow the podcast at our official Twitter, which we both need to look up as we don't recall what it is.
It's at LTTS Podcast.
That stands for Late to the Show.
Does it? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Did you just ask me, does that...
No, I fucking know.
Just
I made
sure.
the handle.
Just making sure. But again, that's at LTTS Podcast on Twitter.
Yeah. No website. You can't afford that bullshit.
Yeah.
That was this week's podcast.
Anyway.
Whichever week this comes out at.
Yeah, eventually. It might not even be our first podcast. Who the fuck knows?
Tune in next week for the next podcast, and don't be late.
Don't be late. Don't be late.